My name is Ebenezer Macross Makati. I'm from Ghana and I'm in the Gambia to learn tailoring as a profession.
I'm Zara Muhammad Ndako from Nigeria, Niger State. That's Nupe.
My name is Lamin Esongo, a 19-year-old Gambian. I've been in the Gambia for the whole of my life. This is my first time of traveling to Accra, Ghana.
Well, I just thought that an exchange program would be extremely interesting to take young people away from their environment completely, especially those who came from provincial states or from the provinces, to not only go to the capital city but instead uproot them completely from their country and take them to another country where they can also have an experience of the specific skill, the people, promote regional integration and African unity. So I thought that an exchange program would add on to a very valuable experience for them.
Any opportunity we have within the sub-region to exchange ideas are very helpful, especially if the ideas themselves would manifest in the form of job creation, or essentially build the capabilities, the tools for young people to be able to affect their immediate environs and possibly their national policy when it comes to employment generation.
The Youth Traineeship Exchange Program, YTEP, was organized by ACE Communications Executives. ACE Communications Executive is an outcome destination for corporate communication work that specializes in public relation, training, multimedia consultancy, corporate branding through concrete media analysis and guide communication strategies by meeting the growing communication demand for businesses and public institutions across Africa.
Youth empowerment is a multifaceted enterprise. If you want to empower youth, you cannot use only one approach. So skills training is one of the many approaches that you employ to empower the youth so that they assume their rightful position in the socio-economic development of their countries.
The aim of the program is to provide a platform for unemployed, low-educated and unskilled youth to attain viable skills and working experience. Being that the youths lack opportunity, this will be a great way for them to gain the means of becoming self-sufficient by learning practical skills and work experience through an exchange with another country in the region. The location of the program is 3 rural areas in West Africa: the Gambia, Ghana, and Nigeria. Youth will develop and implement a traineeship to learn and work in skilled industries and businesses in the various collected countries. It has promoted best practices on renowned skills from the various countries, which can be adopted by youths upon return to their countries. YTEP promoted competency and skills in the professions which can be commercially viable and independent, and enable participants to create or build income-generating activities and encourage entrepreneurship. It has developed a model to be used through traineeship and integrated skills program for participating youths for future projects. During the course of this program, 75 youths in provincial areas were selected from the sub-region and placed into specific traineeship based on their interest of learning within the 3 countries. During the program, 25 participants from Nigeria were divided into 2 groups, with half traveling to the Gambia to be trained on tailoring and the other half to Ghana to be trained on carpentry. Half of the participants from Ghana likewise traveled to Nigeria to be trained in agriculture, while the other half will be in the Gambia to learn tailoring. The same process also applied to the Gambian trainee, and the duration for this program lasted for 6 months.
The Youth Traineeship Exchange Program has merged from the project title to capacitate youth on self-sufficiency on socio-economic development. The concept was created in 2013, and the reason why this concept came about was that there was a high rate in which illegal migration was coming up. And then there was a high rate in which rural-urban migration was coming up. And the youths who were in most of the other towns and cities and provinces had least opportunities. So we thought that we should create a pilot program in this area.
the song everybody is singing now is youth employment and entrepreneurship. But unfortunately, we talk too much about all this, but with little action on ground. And the little action is born from the fact that there is inadequate funding to support this very important challenge that is now ravaging all nations. And that's why we find our governments, our leaders, the private sector should be involved, not only talking about it, but provide the resources needed to equip our youth, to be self-employed.
Highly spirited.
Over the months, 25 participants from Gambia and Nigeria converged in this beautiful country to develop their skills in carpentry. Under the supervision of Imani Center for Policy and Education, the entire training, welfare, and coordination was handled by the group.
My name is Jamfula Jallo. I am from the Gambia.
My name is Iwanefu Sunday. I'm from Nigeria, Ondo State.
The guys, I came with them from the Gambia. Though we are all from the Gambia, but we are not staying together. So being with them, I learned so many things from them.
Whatever you are going to do, you have to work hard and get it. Nothing comes easy in life. You have to very work hard and look for it.
The challenge is some of them are good and some of them is like they are not learning. So it's like it's not easy to control them, but I'm trying to do that.
I live in Ghana. I'm very sweetie, very hard sometimes. I like the people that live in Ghana. I say please live with them.
I thank God for this opportunity because this program will benefit me a lot in my life.
If I start my own workshop, it is going to motivate many young people to venture into the field of carpentry. So all I want is to encourage youth to come into the system, and I can only do that like if I have something of my own in it, and it serves as an example.
Immediately I finished my secondary school, I have no choice, I don't have anything to do. That's when I started to learn carpentry work.
Well, Musa Njai was one of the best participants we had in Ghana in terms of skill. He was from Nyomi, and it's in the North Bank region of the Gambia. And he went through the program, obviously, and he was able to create beautiful things and do amazing things. And that was a big inspiration to see. And I think a lot of the young men who were even more able could look at it and say, once you are focused and you are interested in what you're doing, like Musa Njai, you can really create beautiful things and you can become enterprising from that.
There are challenges in terms of policy. Governments usually think of loftier things rather than thinking about the quality of lives that ordinary young people have to lead. So we tend to churn out a lot of young people. We tend to churn out a lot of graduates from various tertiary institutions. But at the end of the day, because they are not properly trained to be hands-on in order to apply the theory to the practical needs of our lives, it becomes difficult, and that significantly piles up the unemployment spark.
Well, YTEP has been a learning experience. These were participants coming from various countries with different understandings, different perspectives on issues. And as a country supervisor of this program, you have to understand these important backgrounds and then factor in your relationship with them. And so you get to meet different cultures, and you have to also be prepared to learn. So overall, it's been a learning experience.
I must say, I'm really grateful for the program because at least I have the skills. So I can go back and set up something for myself and start up something for myself.
I consider technical and vocational education as the most important aspect of any education at all in any part of the world. And I'll give you 2 reasons. See, we would like to talk about Germany as a country which is technically savvy. Germans are quite efficient because they do the right things. But they are specific. The reasons for which they are successful is because they invested in technical and vocational education.
In our societies, many people do manual and skilled jobs are for the dropouts and the occupation for the poor. For this reason, those in the suit and tie in the office are classified as the only good sons and daughters of the society, while those in the skilled sector are just seen as nobody. For this being the reason, many young Africans use the shortcut to Europe, that is commonly known as backway, to earn respect in the society that they come from and to have something of their own.
Since I'm the Gambia, my friend, they used to tell me that let's go to Bagway, near this and this. No, but me, I don't want to go to Bagway. I said that I will plan my future here. So what I want to have, I will have in the Gambia. I will not go anywhere. Yeah.
Another advice for young people that I have realized is that you have to have skill. You have to have one thing that you can offer. You can't offer things that everyone has. You have to offer a skill. So I know some of the young people want to go out of Africa and go out and find better means and stuff like that. If you're going to move out, go with something. Just don't go with a pretty face or a nice, strong look. Take something up there or here. Use your hands to do something or have a mind to do something. Not just bravery or attitude. It has to be more than that. Because once you go out and opportunities are there, even if you're looking at a dream that's higher, you have to start on something. And there has to be a skill that will enable you to start on something.
The program that is capacitating youth on self-sufficiency for human and socio-economic development in Gambia, Ghana, and Nigeria falls in the mandate of the DTCA and NTCF, that is to bridge the widening gap of youth unemployment and mitigate illegal migration issues, as well as make the youth to be self-sufficient in skills development in the field of agriculture, tailoring, and carpentry.
Gambia is a very mature country in terms of tourism, and also the tailoring is a very specific and unique way of tailoring, which is Senegambian, to be honest. And the style of Senegambian culture has really expanded across Africa, and a lot of curiosity and tailors have curiosity has been on the fashion, and a lot of tailors have been exported out. So to have the young aspiring tailors to come to Gambia and learn about Senegambian designs and tailoring.
I had a pleasant impression with what I saw. What did I see? I saw your trainees or graduates donned in shirts sewn by them. So that goes to demonstrate that you had a meaningful training in this country. You were able to acquire skills that you ultimately translated into handiwork like this.
So I was opportune to participate in this program, and I believe this program has been very, very successful, because I can remember when I came in here, I did not know how to even put a thread in the needle of a machine. But today, I must be very, very sincere. I've been sewing even both male and female clothes.
This is students from Ghana and Nigeria. Have been here with me for the past 6 months. But I always say they are fast learners. I'm very impressed about how they learn. And I always say before, to train people, it will be easy to train a young people. But from these people, I have an experience that to train adult people is more easy than the young ones. Because for their 6 months here, they spend with me, they're just like a student who have been here with for 1 year, 6 months. Because what they are able to do, they start cutting and sewing without even directing them what they are doing. If you check what they are doing in their classroom, you'll be even very impressed for what has been taught for them so far.
One of the most interesting aspects of the Gambia experience was the trade fair, when we selected a booth, 2 booths, and gave the participants something to create items to sell. And they brought in so much artistic and ideas and outfits that they made, and very interesting paintings meshed with material that they have learned. And some of them were making African school bags and using organic things to, like from soap, branding it with African materials sewn, to even shoes that they were making bangles out of material. So they brought out so much artistic ideas that they ended up selling to some of the touristic markets.
Participating in the 9th trade fair, which was taken in the Gambia this year, it has really created a big opportunity for me with the respect I showed to other people, because there were a lot of people who came in which you will not be able to know if this one is from a rich home, this one is from a poor home. So with the self-respect, I was able to cope with each and every one, and it's created a really big opportunity for me. So I think Gambia is a very nice country to be. Yeah, it's a very nice country to be.
Gambia is a great country. The people here are friendly. It all has to do with the wow wow here, wow wow there. Like whenever someone talks to you and you don't understand the whole of, you just have to say wow, wow, which is yes. So it's all about wow wow here and there, wow, wow, wow.
This desire for success in a way motivated us to come together as a team like no other. It was a team defined not by our differences, but by our common hope and aspiration. It was a team spirit that has inspired us to see each other first as Africans and as brothers and sisters, and not as Ghanaians, Gambians, and Nigerians.
And with agriculture, we chose the field because it's so paramount that we still realize the importance of agriculture. The first thing is to be able to feed yourself. You know, like when we can't eat, we cannot function. Therefore, the people who create the means of living should really be empowered and know the use of it. And taking the young people to Nigeria, Nasarawa State, was really good for us because it allowed them to see an advanced form of agriculture in Africa. You know, they didn't have to go to Europe to see how, you know, husbandry or livestock is done. They didn't have to go and see how poultry is conducted in Europe or anywhere else abroad. They didn't have to see what horticulture is like abroad. They went to a farm that was advanced, and they saw how they're able to export all the way to China some of these items, and how the demand is locally for these products. And this is the same idea and concept we want them to have when they go back, to know that they can meet up the local demands and yet yet still be enterprising, have a nice business, and also know that agriculture is a form of revenue. Agriculture is a reliable form of revenue, and one of the wealthiest people either are farmers or are investing in agriculture. So it was really good for them to see that.
One thing that I wanted to commend the students for, they really blended and they've shown that they are Africans. And for them to choose to go into agriculture is a noble thing because the whole world is looking into agriculture. And that is why every day there are researches and technologies that are going on agriculture. And the first security that anybody can secure for himself and nation is food security. And if you cannot secure your house, definitely we will have issues.
They showed one commitment, and I want to congratulate them. They could easily integrate. I found one thing that they did which amazed me. They cook together, they eat from the same bowl. So I have this little story to tell you about that commitment. It brought them closer together. And on one or two occasions, I joined them. But because they were too fast for the old man, I decided to stop it.
And for the organizers, is communication to think of these things and bring out youth from Gambia to come down to Nigeria, not even in the city center, I mean the capital, and take them to another state to learn this trade. I commend them and I say congratulations.
For livestock and the hosting student, or let's say poultry student, with their coming, they started very well and finished very well, and they are hardworking students. They don't waste time. If you show them what to do, if you take them to the field, they perform very well, especially during the hatchery. They spend 1 month of sleepless night and sleepless day.
Well, actually, this program is very, very important to the youth in general because the government is not capable of absorbing the graduates available. So it is important for a youth to equip he or herself with practical aspect of agriculture that he will benefit himself and the entire family.
This program will be of immense benefit for me because it will empower me to set up my own agricultural firm, a dream aside wanting to be a lecturer. And I really appreciate the effort for the coordinators and the organizers of the program.
To all the females around Africa, especially the young ones, my message to you is, set the pride aside. Be your own boss. Don't wait for men to take you out of your situation. Entrepreneurship is the key.
Given that this was the first time most of these youths have traveled to another country, they found it quite interesting and gained a lot of knowledge and experience. They have learned to adapt to a new environment, lived with other individuals they hardly knew and just met, and most importantly, learned new skills from a place they were not familiar with. It was an interesting journey which presented as much opportunities as challenges. Most of the participants from Ghana have never sat behind a sewing machine before coming to the Gambia for the YTEP, but they have been able to successfully utilize their artistic skills to create extraordinary stuff. Both Nigerian and Ghanaian participants have produced several clothes from the materials being given to them by their instructors. As a way of motivating them and testing their creativity, the project provided all the participants with some fun to produce things for exhibition at the annual trade fair organized by the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. An integrated program was also organized for the participants in each country to give them the opportunity to socialize by coming closer to the communities in which they lived and worked.
I would like to seize this opportunity at this moment to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to the management and staff of the DTCA for providing the funds that made the project a possibility.
The mandate of the Director of Technical Cooperation in Africa is basically to facilitate and promote African cooperation and integration for the sustainable development of the continent of Africa. We do this by attracting Africans and Africans in the diaspora to come together using their immense skills, knowledge, and expertise for the development of Africa, so that they now bridge the gap between Africa and the rest of the developed world.
DTCA couldn't be a better partner for ACE Communication Executive, because DTCA believed in the concept that we had as a young company, as young people who have experience, but yet still they could have given other projects approvals instead of ours. But they believed that capacity building was essential. They believed in creating more solutions to avert the youth issues and promote youth development and empowerment. And moreover, they are about unity, African unity. The projects they promote all over Africa is to really get Africans to believe in themselves, to be unified, and also to help one another. And I think in these three areas you can see DTCA in it all throughout. They have been immense supporters to us and this project, and it's only through them and by the Almighty God, of course, that we've been able to touch all these different lives from so many different places.
We selected this program to facilitate the much desired strategic integration of Africa.
The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, of course, and his staff for their unwavering support. The Honorable Minister of the Interior for demonstrating that he cares about the well-being of the youth and that he is a true friend of ACE. Special thanks also goes to the Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department for extending on several occasions the visas of the participants in the Gambia at no cost. Our special gratitude goes to the YTEP implementing partners, the President's International Awards and Mendy Tailoring in the Gambia, the Layuza and Salary Integrated Farms in Nasarawa State in Nigeria, and the Ghana Association of Visual Arts, and Mr. Samuel Alavi, a local carpentry workshop owner in Accra, Ghana. The country supervisors in all the participating countries, my wonderful coordinating team, Imani Center for Policy and Education in Accra, Kashifu Inua, Ado Babangida and Likia Nweza, all of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the fantastic ACE team, headed by the CEO, Sister Fatim, and the entire board of directors. But I wouldn't do justice to this gathering if I do not shout a special thank you to my wonderful participants seated right in front of me for the maturity and respect they so amply demonstrated throughout this project.
YTEP is an ongoing program, and the requirement for this program is a minimum level of education, a grade 9 level of education, and in order to know about it, we will be having radio, television, advertisement, newspapers, social media, and the same goes for the rest of the countries.
This project is very complex naturally. It's complex because they come from 3 different countries. They all come from different states and provinces. Almost 90% of them, or 95% of them, are unemployed. 95% of them have never traveled. And majority of them also have not had opportunities that has allowed them to be challenged. So you gather 75 of these young people and you take them to different countries, and you're managing 3 different countries and 3 different teams, because we had a team in Nigeria, we had a team in in Ghana. You know, Ghana we had Imani. In Nigeria we had country supervisors like Ado Babagida. We also had Likia. We also had at some point Kashif. And then we also had a board to oversee, not mentioning in Gambia the implementing team from ACE. So having so many different people you have to manage, including the lives, the safety, the welfare, the discipline of the participants so they can continue to go to the training centers, the relationship between them and the training centers, them and the environment. It was a challenge altogether. So the only time we will sleep is when they all finally go back to where we got them from and they sleep. And that was when we knew that, you know, we've really done well. You know, once you have a good implementation plan, you have a good strategy, documents are in place, you know what it is that you need to get done. It really helped us a lot to guide us. So, is it an easy project? No. Can it be done again? Absolutely. Can it be done in a larger point? Yes, absolutely. We don't see anything after this project that can scare us, because this pilot has been one tough cookie.
What is doing, or what they have started, should be supported so that it can continue to serve posterity.
I have been fortunate to be empowered by this program, and it's opened my eyes to a lot of things that young people can do. If we can just stay focused, if we can be patient, if we can look into the future as bright and as far as we can look, we can go far.
Young people should stop focusing too much on luxurious lifestyles and build their capabilities, because they should never really wait for people to employ them per se, and because the jobs are not there, but they should be able to create something, and that comes from being wide-eyed, open, and also reading quite a lot. So I think that for me the main message I have for the African youth is that yes, Africa is changing, but it should change not because the politicians say so, but because the youth of Africa demand that the right thing should be done, which includes getting into programs like this to assert their own independence.
Supporting an initiative like YTEP is a social corporate responsibility for organizations and agencies, and etc. It is the answer to curbing the menace of unemployment and tackling the rising need to get African young people and seeing the prospects of staying home, to develop Africa for ourselves.
My message for young people like myself is to apply yourself. You know, it's only this short period that you have this thing called youth. And in this short period, you have so much energy. Good looking, energy, vibrant, strong, all of that. You have to really choose where to insert this drive and energy, because it really determines, you know, where you're going to be heading and where you're going to end up. And you see old people, they have a will and drive, but they're not capable physically to do certain things anymore. And they're at their peak, but at a restraining peak. So when you're at your peak, at all points, you have everything to gain around you. You must apply yourself. And what I have realized from young people is we have to be patient. If we choose a field, a career path, you have to wait for it to grow in it. Not every moment that you're in the nursery, you have to just spring up. You know, you have to learn behind someone who knows something for a while and learn skills that, you know, once you're mature and you head out there, you can do great things.